Today I present my data project focused on geometry benchmark data. The goal of this work is to look closely at student performance across two benchmarks and use the information to improve instruction in a meaningful way. When reviewing the first benchmark, students' results were low overall. Most students were not meeting expectations, and only a small number showed proficiency. With the second benchmark, there is some improvement, which is encouraging. However, the progress is not strong enough to show mastery. The main concern is not just low scores, but the fact that students are not consistently improving, especially when the questions require deeper thinking. To support this work, a team was put together that includes administration, a classroom teacher, an instructional coach, and a special education teacher. Each person brings a different perspective, and working together allows us to make stronger decisions about instruction. The team meets regularly to review data and talk through next steps. After reviewing the data, the team created clear goals. We want to raise the overall class performance, increase the number of students meeting expectations, improve how students perform on more complex questions, and focus not just on getting better scores, but helping students truly understand the content. Instead of taking just look at one set of scores, multiple sources were used. This included both benchmarks, trends in student performance, and actual student work. Looking at different types of data helps give a clear picture of what students know and where they are struggling. When comparing the two benchmarks, there's some growth, especially with the earlier question. This shows that students are beginning to understand basic concepts. However, the more complex questions are still a challenge, and performance drops when students are asked to apply what they know. Some students are improving, but others are not showing much change. After digging deeper, a few key issues stood out. Students are better with basic skills, but they are not being pushed enough to think at a higher level. There also needs to be more consistent use of data during instruction and not just after testing. In addition, support and intervention need to be more closely connected to specific student needs. To address these concerns, the team developed a plan. This includes going back and reteaching certain areas, certain standards, and especially those where students perform the lowest. There will also be strong focus on asking higher level questions and giving students more opportunities to solve complex problems. Small group instruction and regular checks for understanding will also be a key part in the plan. Even though this work is still ongoing, there's a plan in place to track progress. So student performance will be reviewed regularly using formal assessments, and this will help determine if changes are being made and actually helping students improve. Looking at the data so far, it's clear that there has been some improvement, but there is still a lot of work to do. Students are starting to build basic skills, but they need more support when it comes to applying those skills, and this means instruction needs to continue to shift. Overall, this project shows that progress is happening, but is not enough. Students need more opportunities to engage in deeper thinking, and instruction needs to be more intentional. The biggest takeaway is that data should guide what happens in the classroom when used the right way. It can lead to student learning.